welcome to I-24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from the world of sports. Busy weekend behind us. Borussia Dortmund stumbles again on Saturday, while Arsene Wenger gets a hero's chant. Is Adrian Peterson setting his sights on Rio rather than returning to TFC Bank? And what are France's chances in winning the bid for the 2024 Olympics? All this and much more coming up, so let's get going. And we're kicking it off in the German Bundesliga. Last season's runner-up, Borussia Dortmund, made it out of the group stage in the Champions League, but their troubles in the Bundesliga continue. The squad lost again on Saturday, their 9th defeat of the season, playing at Hertha Berlin. Julian Scheiber scored the only goal in the match against his former club, eluding goalkeeper Sebastian Kehl in the 40th minute. Dortmund now find themselves in relegation zone, just 1 point ahead of last place, and having earned only a single point over their last 7 games. And taking a look at other Bundesliga scores from the weekend, Bayern Munich winning big away from Allianz Arena, thrashing Augsburg's 4-0. Arjen Robben scoring 2 of those. Despite coming out of their Champions League group last week, Schalke suffered a disappointing loss by a goal to Cologne. And Stuttgart is now at the bottom of the Bundesliga after drawing at Mainz. And on to the French League, Lyon had an easy victory, beating bottom of the table Cannes 3-0. Other results showed Nantes get past Bordeaux 2-1, Bastia over Reims 2-0, and Montpellier draw 3-3 to Lens. And lastly, the leaders Marseille will defend their first place in a top match in Monaco this evening. Manager Laurent Blanc spoke about moving on after a loss.
Il y a toujours un risque. Il y a toujours un risque.
There's always a risk. So it is true the risk may be a little bit bigger when you have had your first defeat in 7 months. In 7 months, 1 defeat. So honestly, even my president would like to have no losses. 1 defeat in 7 months. If that could be the case for the next 7 months, I sign on it right now.
And in La Liga, Real Madrid celebrated their 20th straight victory in all competitions as they beat Almeria 4-1. Leo Messi's side did not have the same luck as he failed to inspire Barcelona as they drew 0-0 at Getafe. And lastly, Valencia had another easy victory over Rayo Vallecano, winning 3-0 at the Mestalla. And last but not least, the English Premier League. Burnley secured an important win against a shaky Southampton. Top of the table, Chelsea were not at their best, but pulled through at home, beating Hull City. Meanwhile, Manchester City's Frank Lampard tied Thierry Henry's haul of 175 Premier League goals. And Arsene Wenger's Arsenal beat visitors Newcastle 4-1, and the manager enjoyed a hero's chant at Emirates Stadium.
I'm grateful for that and I enjoy it, but the most important for us is the way we play football, and I think that is the most important, that our fans go home happy because we have played well and won.
He's run more than 5,500 miles over the last 7 months and doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. The man known as Marathon Man UK runs at least 1 marathon every single day, and by April could break the year-long record. Here's more about his unbelievable feat.
Oh God, I'm still asleep.
Like thousands of joggers around the world, Rob Young wakes up every morning and goes for a run. But Rob's daily exercise routine is a bit longer than your average jog. It's a full marathon, or more.
I suppose we've got to go running again.
Rob, known as Marathon Man UK, is on track to beat the current world record of 366 marathons in a single year, or 1 marathon per day. Since April, he has completed more than 240 marathons, sometimes running 2 in 1 day, or longer races like the 100-mile ultramarathons. For the former professional cyclist, it's just another jog in the park.
I mean, I take 1 day at a time and just hope for the best, and I don't worry about tomorrow or the day after, and I don't even worry about breaking the record. For me, it's just a substance for me to really put myself on the map so then I can do something much better and also give that motivational and inspirational, if I can say that, environment for other kids and other adults.
The thousands of miles across the United Kingdom have also been an emotional journey for the super runner. Rob suffered from an abusive childhood and is running to raise money for disadvantaged children's charities. He's now giving motivational speeches at local schools. He hopes the mileage will send a message.
With the marathon running, like I explained, I want to create an image that anything's possible to do. And that's by me taking my weakest discipline, or one of my weakest disciplines, which I believe, which is also a very hard discipline for most people to do, and turn it into something positive.
Ali Parks, Rob's manager and best friend, has stayed by his side throughout all the training.
It's not an empty motivational poster on a wall. He's looking in kids' eyes and saying, if I can do it, you can do it.
Rob used to hold down a full-time job, but recently gave it up to concentrate solely on the marathons. He has no sponsors and is taking no cut of the charity donations, so is living off his life savings in order to complete the challenge. If he keeps up the current pace, Rob will officially break the year-long record at the 2015 London Marathon in April. Though he says, even if he breaks the record, he doesn't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
And heading to the hardwood with NBA action, Milwaukee Bucks hosting the LA Clippers. First quarter, Clips up by 5, and Blake Griffin wide open under the basket. He doesn't even have to look to get those 2 points. Fast forward to the end of the third, tied at 65, Matt Barnes knocks down the easy tray. Clippers take the lead again. And it's all tied up again in the fourth. This time it's Milwaukee's turn. Chris Middleton with the open lane to the basket, uncontested dunk. He put up 14 points for the Bucks on the night. Clips down by 8 late in the quarter, but J.J. Redick isn't giving up yet. Hits the 3 from the corner. LA looking like they could come from behind, but the Bucks feeling comfortable in the last minute. Brandon Knight knocks down the long ball from several feet behind the three-point line. The Bucks win it 111-106. And the opening events of the Bobsleigh World Cup continued on Saturday in Lake Placid, New York, and hosts USA had a pretty good day. The Americans swept the podium in the women's two-man bobsleigh. Ilana Myers-Taylor and Sherelle Garrett set the track and start record, winning in 1 minute and 52.68 seconds. And in the men's four-man bobsleigh, the defending world champ German Maximilian Arndt started the new season on a high note as he and his team won by a narrow 0.01 margin, and Arndt leads the overall standings. Meanwhile, NFL star running back Adrian Peterson, who lost his appeal and is currently suspended for the rest of the season after being charged with beating his son, says he's considering retiring from pro football. Peterson spoke with ESPN about possibilities for his future, saying if he does retire, he may try to compete in track in the Olympics. Peterson is considered one of the fastest running backs in the league, and in an interview in 2012 said his goal is to compete in the 2016 Olympics taking place in Rio. Meanwhile, looking ahead, France launched its bid for the 2024 Olympics, hoping that changes in criteria will make it easier for them to win the right to host the Games. Lise Barenbaum and Michael Friedman report.
Paris bid for the 2024 Olympics has been launched. The recent IOC reforms stick perfectly to the Parisian possibilities, an opportunity that the supporters of the City of Lights have not let go and that the IOC takes very seriously.
If France decides to present a Paris bid, it will be a very strong candidate.
New steps by the Olympic Committee President, Thomas Bach, as part of the 2020 agenda, are in line in Paris. Several months of reflection ended at the last session of the IOC Monaco.
Today is a decision day. It's the day when, after a debate of more than 1 year and with a great participation, we can change from discussion mode to a decision mode.
40 in number, these changes aim to ease the application process and reduce the cost of the Games. The IOC seems to have learned from the last Olympics in Sochi, which gave the impression of an incomprehensible debauchery of money in these times of fiscal crisis.
The IOC will contribute to the costs of the presentations of the candidate cities, which will be strictly limited. It will limit costs in a very meaningful way.
It will not be necessary to build an Olympic park to host the competition. The IOC has henceforth encouraged the use of existing and temporary installation equipment, a philosophy that makes obsolete the model of the Olympic Park that was acclaimed since the Sydney Games in 2000 and until those in London 2012. The 2024 Paris project has nothing to do with the 2012 project that was supposed to be built around the Olympic Park. Today, one pole of this magnitude would be almost impossible to be inserted in Paris. The French capital could then reuse the Stade de France, Paris-Bercy, Roland-Garros, or the Velodrome in Saint-Quentin. Another small revolution, the IOC reversed a principle that was not impossible to change in theory. The governing body now makes possible the joint organization of games across multiple cities or even 2 countries.
We will give the same opportunity to organize some events under special conditions in other cities.
A decision which rejoices French sports leaders even if the subject is sensitive. The issue is challenging for Paris because the mayor, Anne Hidalgo, is not in favor of hosting it in her city. However, the country is hopeful.
I'm not for hasty decisions under the influence of emotion, but it's the reason that this is what we also ask our fellow citizens.
If a candidate, Paris could therefore rely on other local authorities. The IOC will make its decision in the summer of 2017. Paris has not hosted the Olympics since 1924, but the city appears to be ready.
And another rather unique Olympics for generations. Maasai warriors prove their manhood by hunting and killing lions. But as the animal becomes endangered, Kenyan Olympic champ David Rudisha is working towards swapping spearing for sports. Michael Friedman has more.
On Saturday, traditional lion hunters in Kenya took part in a special Maasai Olympics organized to save lions. Spread in red paint, dressed in the Maasai robes and beaded necklaces, the warriors competed in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro. Kenyan Olympic gold medalist and world record holder David Rudisha is the patron of the Games and says he's happy to be part of this transition from hunting to sports.
I am happy, to come here and to be part of my people and to try to educate them about not killing the wild animal, because we get a lot of benefits from it.
The athlete is a true icon in this sport.
I'm also trying and being a role model to them, that sport also can change your life from being someone to somebody. Sports have really taken me far, and I've been all over the world, and it's only because of running.
The number of big cats is rapidly declining due to the poaching and humans' increasing encroachment on their territory. These games are organized by conservatives who aim to provide an alternative test of the warrior's strength.
We can change, but we still have our traditions, our manyatas, our chiefs. Before, when we killed a lion, everyone would sing and chant. And now we do that here when we win.
And the board director of Big Life Foundation argues as the landscape of the region is changing, the Maasai who inhabit need to adapt with it.
What they had to do was realize that the balance is shifting so much in the other direction, and in the modern world it just doesn't make sense. This is a community in transition. It's very much a mixture between traditional way of life, which you want to preserve.
As the lions are in trouble, this unique Maasai Olympics is helping preserve the wildlife.
And to the sunny shores of Oahu, Hawaii, where surfer Kelly Slater used a strong performance to keep his slim hopes alive for the 2014 Association of Surfing Professionals World title. Slater had to take part in the second round after just sneaking by and finishing second in his heat in the opening round, but he was then able to easily advance to round 3 with a score of 17.0. The American is an 11-time ASP world champion, but would need 2 others to stumble in order to clinch a record 12th title, which Slater knows is a challenge.
Yeah, well, I just figured if I'm going to win this contest, which I have to do to win the title, I got to go through the best guys. And, in all honesty, Reef is one of the best guys out here.
And it's a bit colder in the UK than Hawaii, where swimmers braved a chilling 4 degrees Celsius and took the plunge into the Outdoor Swimming Society's December dip. 400 people took part in the annual event, some of them already in the Christmas spirit, wearing Santa hats, while others wore furry gorilla or Viking costumes. The day features 4 different races, including the fancy dress race, in which those contestants in the gorilla and Viking costumes race through the waters to the finish line. And if you're not brave enough to face the cold in London, how about the world's deepest pool? You can now take apnea courses in the world's deepest swimming pool in northeastern Italy, and they're taught by freediving legend Umberto Pilazzari. The pool is 42 meters deep and built over thermal sources, even included in the Guinness World Records book as the deepest pool in the world for freediving and scuba diving. And that's it for us for today. Don't forget you can watch this and every other show on our website, i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. And make sure to catch up on our weekend edition and the rest of our week. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Rob Safir. Thank you for watching.